The year is 1939. The world has not yet reached the edge of a massive disaster, and the bloodiest war in history has not yet begun. At midnight, in the freezing and dark forests of the Bavarian Alps, 12 Delta Force soldiers are watching the mountain house down in the valley. The target is Berghof, one of Germany's most heavily protected private estates. If this team fails, millions of people will lose their lives in World War II. The team is split into pairs, scanning the building below one by one through binoculars. What they see is not an ordinary mountain house. It is basically a small military base. Heavily armed guards are waiting at the doors. Patrols are constantly moving along the roads, and the entire area is surrounded by checkpoints. Even the drivers, cooks, and nurses are people who have been specially trained since childhood. Inside the estate and in the immediate area around it, there is an active core security staff of at least 40 to 50 people. In the wider outer security ring, there are more than 200 armed personnel watching the mountain roads and standing ready against any possible threat. The soldiers set up a temporary base deep in the forest. They stretch out camouflage nets and take precautions to protect their equipment from the rain. Delta Force may be one of the best trained units in the world, but they are not superheroes either. The ammunition they brought with them is limited. There is no logistics support coming from behind, and they cannot receive real-time intelligence from modern satellites or drones. Most importantly, they have no command center they can call for help over the radio. A single mistake will bring their end. That is why they do not rush. They watch the target for days. The target has a very clear routine. He constantly moves between Berghof, Berlin, and his private train. When he travels in his massive Mercedes-Benz 77OK armored car, motorcycle escorts and security vehicles are always in front of him and behind him. Before he moves, the roads are completely closed and checked. The other option is his private armored train, known as America. This train is not an ordinary passenger train either. It is a moving fortress. There are no civilians inside it. It is filled entirely with armored cars, anti-aircraft defense systems, and the guards he trusts the most. Time is running out. Every hour that passes, the soldiers in the forest face the risk of being discovered. It is only a matter of time before a patrol finds their footprints, notices their trash, or catches the faint glow coming from their equipment. The team leader puts the first option, Plan A, on the map. The plan is very clear. When the target leaves the building for a while, the security level of the estate is forced to drop. At that exact moment, the team will split in two. While one group keeps watch outside, a 6-man infiltration group will silently enter the Berghof estate through the smoke and darkness. They will hide in the quiet corners of rooms and in the attics, then wait in ambush for hours without even breathing until the target returns to the building. The moment the target enters his room, it will be over. It looks perfect on paper, right? But in the operation room, things do not go that way at all. Because before the target enters the building, special protection teams go in ahead of him and search every room, every closet, and every space under the beds one by one with dogs. They do not let him into the house or even let him get out of the car until they are sure it is safe. The moment they sense the slightest foreign smell or anything strange, the target never steps inside the building. If one soldier sneezes or a wooden floorboard creaks, 12 commandos will be trapped inside a sealed box in the middle of hundreds of guards. The team leader cancels this plan because he finds it too risky. Right after that, they move to Plan B. The goal is to catch the famous Mercedes-Benz 77OK Convoy carrying the target on the mountain road. The roads of the Alps are steep, full of sharp turns, and covered with dense trees on both sides. The escort vehicles at the very front and very back of the convoy are forced to slow down a lot on sharp curves. The plan takes shape like this. The team will position itself at a blind spot where the road narrows, instantly disable the front and rear security vehicles with modern suppressed weapons, and leave the armored Mercedes alone in the middle. In the darkness of night, The convoy, caught completely off guard, will not be able to do anything against the sudden and professional ambush coming from inside the forest. This move sounds much more guaranteed. But at that exact moment, intelligence coming through the radio completely turns the plan upside down. Just before the convoy moves, motorcycle police patrols and road security vehicles pass through the route at random times. That means there is a chance the soldiers will be caught by these advanced patrols while taking positions at the roadside. On top of that, a civilian vehicle passing by at the wrong moment or a badly timed security car could expose the entire operation early. If the armored vehicle senses even the slightest danger, it has the ability to quickly turn back and escape. A firefight in open terrain with no path to retreat means the entire team could be wiped out. Since Plan B is also a huge gamble, it is eliminated. Now all eyes turn to the last resort, Plan C. This plan is the most dangerous and the craziest, but it is also the only operation where Delta Force has full control. The target will be sabotaged while moving on his specially protected armored train. One of the hardest parts here is the train's unbelievable security procedures. Long before the target leaves the mountain house and arrives at the station, special security teams enter the train and search every corner in detail. After he arrives, his most trusted elite guards begin a second wave of searches. Only after the train's security is confirmed 100% is he finally allowed inside, and the doors are locked. There is not a single civilian on this train. The cars belong only to the target and his army of loyal guards. On top of that, this train is covered with thick, bulletproof armor. At the very front and very back of the train, there are two special armored defense cars, and these cars carry massive anti-aircraft guns. These monsters can fire exactly 800 rounds per minute, powerful enough to tear even an aircraft in the sky apart within seconds. From the moment the train starts moving, police officers lined up along the railroad tracks allow no civilian to come anywhere near the route. This is exactly where Delta Force finds a smart opening. This massive 1,200-ton train is pulled by two huge steam locomotives, and these locomotives need an incredible amount of water to operate. Every 200 kilometers, the train has to stop at those isolated water towers beside the tracks and fill its tanks to the top. The team activates the plan. Before the train even reaches the station, they use the darkness of night to secretly infiltrate the huge water tank of that isolated water tower. They pour the chemicals they brought with them, which will completely cripple the locomotive engine, and the thick lime and sediment mixture that will clog the engine into the tank. On paper, everything is flawless. The train arrives at the station, takes on water, and starts moving. But the moment that sediment-filled water drawn from the water tower reaches the steam boilers, the boilers quickly clog, and the pressure inside suddenly drops. Just a few kilometers after leaving the station, in the very middle of the forest, the train slowly comes to a stop as its engines completely fail. There is no sound of an explosion and no sign of an attack from outside. Nobody on the train understands what is happening. They think it is only a mechanical failure. The train stops exactly where Delta Force calculated. The plan is clear. When the train breaks down and stops, the security troops inside will come out to secure the area, and the target will also leave the car with them to get fresh air or check the situation. If they come outside, the team will catch them in crossfire and finish the job. But what they expect does not happen. The doors open, armored train guards rush out, but the target chooses to stay deep inside the armored car. The team leader wastes no time and moves to the second phase of the plan. Two soldiers throw the dense gas and smoke grenades they brought with them into the train through the roof, ventilation grills, and chimneys. Within seconds, the inside of the armored cars is covered in a thick, choking smoke where no one can see or breathe. Everyone inside starts coughing and running outside, gasping for air. At that exact moment, the target's most trusted guards form a wall of flesh. They use their own bodies as shields for the target, pull him out of the car, and try to quickly carry him toward a safe area inside the forest. Delta Force soldiers enter a very intense firefight with the security troops coming out. Gunshots echo through the forest. But even though the ambush is set from the front, they are facing 250 trained and armed soldiers, and the enemy has a massive numerical advantage. Even though the target is out of breath, Delta Force cannot get close to him directly because of the huge security circle surrounding him. The guards respond to fire with fire. Since Delta Force is secretly firing from inside the forest, the enemy cannot see them and fires randomly into the trees. Delta Force has grenades, but they are not close enough to throw them at the target. But Delta Force had thought of this too. While the front line keeps them busy with the firefight, a fully camouflaged Delta Force sniper hidden among the rocks above the forest has been watching the area through his rifle scope for minutes. He aims his barrel at the exact center of the chaos. Between the smoke and the wall of bodyguards, the moment he clearly sees the target's face, the shot lands, and the target is neutralized. The sniper calmly presses the radio button and sends the message the entire team has been waiting for. Mission complete. When the team leader receives this message, he immediately gives the order to retreat. There is no point in staying in the middle of this army anymore. The soldiers throw their last smoke grenades and hand grenades one after another around the train. With deafening explosions, the entire railroad line and the forest are covered in a thick white cloud of smoke. At the same time, they keep firing so the enemy does not realize they are retreating. As the armored train guards, unable to see anything, fire blindly all around them, the Delta Force team takes their wounded teammate and quickly disappears between the trees. A few hundred meters deeper into the forest, they reach the off-road vehicle they had hidden earlier. They throw their weapons and equipment inside, start the engine, and speed away toward the safe zone. Delta Force has successfully completed the mission and won. But if something like this had really happened, would it have been enough to stop World War II? Of course, everything we have described is completely fictional, unrealistic, and only an entertainment scenario. It has nothing to do with reality. Besides, if we had a time machine, none of us would send Delta Force into the past. We would use it for other things. Anyway, for similar what-if videos, you can click the playlist on the screen, like the video, and make sure to share your thoughts with us in the comments section. See you in the next video.